Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net. It's Monday the 26th of January. Thanks again for watching. This is your look ahead video. Wow, so many of you yesterday ordered the DVDs after I mentioned it on the look ahead video. And you can still do that. We've still got loads in stock. Just go to weatherweb.net, click at the top here on Books by Simon, and that brings you up the page that enables you to order my books and DVDs. Also, you can see sample videos from that as well. But thanks to so many of you for ordering so far. Couldn't believe how many of you actually did that, so thank you for doing that. Anyway, right, on with the forecast for today. Now, is it me or is it not January? You know, do we not get cold weather in January? Because plastered all across the news and in forecasts, you would think that we're going to be in for sort of 5 foot of snow over the end of this week. I mean, there is going to be wintry weather around. There is going to be snowfall, and snow geese are going to absolutely love it. I mean, I love snow as much as the next person, but come on, we've got to keep this in context. It's January. We're about to head into a 6 or 7 day spell of cold weather, and yeah, there may be some snow around. What on earth do we expect? This is the 7 to 10 day mean of the 500 millibar flow, ECMWF on the left here, GFS on the right. So this is valid for the period from next Monday through to Thursday, the 5th of February. And ECMWF trough across the states. Look, there's the region of the Atlantic and the trough across Europe again. Interesting to see this ridge start to build in during this period, because I think what's going to happen is that the ridge is going to build. It's going to try and get its way northwards, not like that, like this. It's going to try and get its way northwards, and I think eventually it will be cut off by the jet, which will just scream through and bring a brief spell of pretty unsettled weather during that middle part of February. I'll show you more about that in just a second. GFS has got it on there as well, look, but it does have the ridge as more of a feature. But either way, both of those models stacking up, which gives us fairly good confidence in the forecast. There's the GFS ensemble temperature forecast for the next 15 days. And the red line is what we're interested in here. Look, you see that fall off in temperature during Wednesday. Look, it lasts through the weekend into the early part of next week, and then we see this gradual pickup in temperature after that. Now, I can entirely buy this, and I'll show you why in just a second when I show you the CFS. But you know, this is definitely a cold snap, and yeah, there'll be some snow across the country in places. And if we take a look at the Weather Online charts for this, you'll see here, by the way, the time is up here, top left hand corner. There's Wednesday morning. Look, if we just knock it on to Wednesday afternoon, that happens, and there we go into Wednesday evening. Look, that really cold air coming through, minus 40s, minus 41s at 500 millibars, and that lasts then into the end of the week, bringing in increasingly destable air. And what we're looking at, you see these little kinks in the isobar here, okay? That's what we're interested in, because what's going to happen in this northwesterly flow is that there'll be some really, really cold air coming in. As that gets in, it destabilises the flow. We get these little areas of low pressure spinning up. I've been telling you about these. These are called polar lows. And those little areas spin up and they bring concentrated areas of snow showers with them. But the difficulty really is just predicting where the snow showers are going to be. This is the predicted weather from the GFS model again for Wednesday morning here. Watch as I knock them on in 6 hour steps. That's Wednesday morning into the afternoon. Look, snow coming in. There we are Wednesday evening. Heavy snow showers, look, piling in from the west because of that destabilised flow. And actually, if you just go through the next few days, yeah, you see snow showers here and there across the country. But predicting where they are is going to be very tricky, and we may actually see temperatures start to rise for Friday, perhaps the early part of Saturday, before falling off again. Critically dependent on wind direction. And you know, you just look around the charts. So this is the panel for the ECMWF for the next few days, and you can see how this cold air kicks in. Look, there's midnight on Wednesday. If I just show you down here, there we are. Look, here the northwest is coming in through the course of the weekend. You see the ECMWF has a little low in there, and here we get a low cutting across Scotland into the North Sea through next Monday and Tuesday. That would bring a risk of some more persistent snow. But then look, the important thing here is that the ECMWF around the 4th and the 5th of February wants to drag it back into a milder southwesterly across northern and western areas, so they're cold, trying to hang on a little bit across the southeast. Similar story across the Canadian, across the what else? GFS ensemble as well. So they're all showing a similar sort of idea, that we see this brief, sharp hit of cooler weather coming in. Now, the CFS is quite interesting, because the CFS is trying to back up some of the ideas that we've had. This is the week 1 forecast from the CFS, valid up to the 1st of Feb. And what it shows, look, here's the ridge building in the Atlantic. There's the northerly flow coming down through the country, the unstable northerly flow, bringing the wintry weather this week. Then we get into week 2, and look, ridge building in, exactly as I told you, there's the cold northerly flow. But what you're finding here is that we're getting a plunge of cold air coming back into the States down to the tropics. That then reverses and builds up our ridge. But what will happen is this is cooling off here all the time. So as that cooling process takes place, we increase the chance of the ridge being cut through, the westerly winds starting to dig back in as we head into week 3. And there is week 3, look. And there are those west to west northwesterly winds. So still cool, still unsettled, and very unsettled conditions actually during that period. High pressure perhaps building into the south a little bit more, but certainly showing us there the potential for those winds to be getting back in the west or west northwesterly, so not quite as cold. And then as we get into, oh, don't you just love sales calls? This is actually a sales call, you know. This is PPI on the extreme. So we'll just get rid of that and we'll throw it out the window. There we go, it's gone. Anyway, so on to week 4. And week 4, I really should stop throwing my phone around, shouldn't I? Week 4 is the forecast valid from 16th of Feb through to the 22nd of Feb. And what this one is picking up on, now this is interesting because we've been talking about higher pressure building in at the end of February, but only after a watch period from the 17th to the 22nd of February, when we could have seen, or we think there is the chance in there of some severe storms taking place. Now, this chart from the CFS is very interesting. It's starting to pick up on stuff. And I have to admit that having not been too impressed with the CFS performance last summer, it's certainly improved through this winter. Its diagnostics seem better in the winter than in the summer months. But what this is showing us, look, trough out towards the west, okay? In elongation on that trough coming down here across the southern parts of the UK, with a ridge building off towards the east. Now, what I'm seeing when we see this is the spring setup. This is where we've been suspecting early spring was going to be, with high pressure building somewhere across Scandinavia and more of an east-southeasterly flow developing across the UK, with unsettled conditions off towards the west of the UK. And although this may not be exactly the way this ends up, it's showing us signs of that pressure build at the end of February. And with this breakaway section here, what could happen is that we get a little low spin off from this, drag its way southeastwards into Europe, brings a brief stormy spell across the UK before this then builds back eastwards and gets us into dry weather during that last period of February, and some pretty frosty weather too. So, interesting times there. That's a very, very interesting chart that's been produced by the CFS. But still, we've got snow to get over first of all. Oh my goodness, snow, it's January, it's going to be cold. Whatever will happen next to the weather. Okay, all right, I've gone a bit too far. I'll leave it with that. But whatever you're doing, thanks again for watching. Keep the sun shining, and bye for now.